So anytime I post, people will be asking, how do I create my background? So today I decided to give you a simple tutorial. Instead of creating a design with a raw background like this, why don't you download a high resolution images to create something like this? It's popular, right? It's very simple. Let's head into Photoshop, then begin with the process. For this particular tutorial, we are going to use only 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 images. So as we always do, we start by creating our working space using the create new button. Then I always prefer A3 because it gives me a higher resolution images. I want the design to be square, so I have to crop I have to crop part of my working space by using the crop tool, this one. Then I'll head over here, then select 1:1 ratio, which is square. You see, then I'll check this button. Then let me import my background. This village scene is what I'm going to use as my background. So we are going to utilize one of the feature in Photoshop like the Gaussian blur. So I will scale it to fill my working space. This is one of my ways in creating a simple design popping background. So using the filter, I will see a blur, then I will select the Gaussian blur. Then I will blur it a bit. I think this is okay. Then I will select, let me reduce it a bit. Then I will select okay when I'm satisfied. So this one is a personal preference. Then let me import the image, this image. I'll upload all these resources and share the link with you, so don't worry, you can download for practice. So I'll scale it up a bit and position it somewhere here. Then I'll have to scale it down a bit. Yeah, so because it's an outside scene, I want to create a reflection, the sun reflection, using this PNG file. I'll drag it here. I want only this one, so I'll use this tool, the rectangular mark tool, to draw over the part that I want, like this. Then I'll use Ctrl J, which is duplicate. Ctrl J. You see, it has duplicated only this one for me. Then I'll delete the one that I imported, so I don't need it again. Now let me select what I just duplicated and scale it up. Then I'll bring it behind the image layer, like I'll drag it down beneath it like this. Then I'll change the blending mode. This is a very powerful it's a very powerful tool in Photoshop. I mostly use it when creating background, especially when I'm using multiple images on my background. We'll talk more about it in a different tutorial. So let's change the blending mode to something screen. I think this one is perfect. Then I'll place it here. Let's see the before and after. Before, after. You see, the magic has already happened. Yes, so now let's write something like joy. So using my text tool, I'll type joy. Then I'll use this font, Case Zone. I'll use Case Zone as my font. So I'll highlight everything, then select the Case Zone. I know the font name, so I'll just type it. Let me scale it up. So I'll bring this one behind the image too. Then now let's color it. I'll use the gradient overlay. So I want it to be two colors, so when you click here, you change it to this side will be orange and this one will be red. Then I'll use my okay. Then I want to give it a stroke, an outline. The outline, I want it to be two, white and black, so let me reduce the size a bit. Then I'll press this plus button here. It will create another stroke. Then I'll change that one to the color to black. Then let's increase the size a bit. You see it's not showing. Yeah, something like this is okay. So let's press okay. You see how simple it is. You see how simple it is. We've created a simple design, but then let's add something to spice the design up a bit. This leaf here. Let me right click, then flip horizontal. Then I'll rotate it like this. Then let me place it around this side. Rotate it, adjust it the way we want. Then I'll use the same Gaussian blur using the filter blur, then Gaussian blur. I'll increase the size. I think it's okay for me. Then I'll duplicate it using the Ctrl J. Then let me drag it to somewhere. Let me change it to, let me flip it horizontally. Right click, okay. Then I'll flip horizontal. So let me place it around this side and see. Around this side. Yeah, I think it's okay. So now this is how can we create a simple popping design instead of creating that boring design for the first one. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and share, and stay tuned for more YouTube tutorial.